Hey guys, welcome back to another Arsenal transfer special. MGH Studios. I feel like I'm a Sky reporter, but I love doing these kind of videos. So I'm doing one again today. Let's just talk about incomings, outgoings, what's going on in the transfer window, which has been open for what, 6 days now? Oh my god. It feels like it's been open for weeks though. The rumours have just been flying, contracts being agreed, but not physically. Everything seems to be going really quickly this summer. Deals were getting done before the window even opened. And of course, with the Club World Cup, things are being accelerated. Teams are busy trying to get players in for that. But what's going on at Arsenal? We had some breaking news today, and that is one of the most important signatures we will have this summer. Gabriel has signed until 2029. By the way, the kit. Oh, I'm in the way. The Arsenal kit, the home kit this season looks absolutely amazing. I'm really getting used to that A pattern, the Gothic A. But anyway, as I just said, one of the biggest signatures, one of the most important signatures we will get this summer, it's not even a new player, it's retaining a player. I mean, can you imagine life without Gabriel? It's quite scary just how good he has become over the last few years. And actually, what I want to say is he is one of the first players that kind of bought into the Arteta project. One of the first big signings we made with Arteta as a manager. And I would like to point out, probably the best signing. Value for money. I mean, under 30 million, this is unheard of these days to get a player of this quality and so cheap. Because obviously he's had time to flourish into being one of the best centre-backs in the world. But for less than 30 mil, to see that potential, you've got to give it to Arteta and the scouting department. And what a signing it's turned out to be. He's one of the highest scoring defenders since he's joined. I think he's got the most clean sheets and goals scored since he signed in the Premier League for defenders. It's pretty remarkable, and he has signed a 4-year deal. And here is what he has said, although, again, I'm in the way here. I love this club. I love the supporters. I love my teammates. And obviously on the left side of the screen, you can see 3 Man of the Match awards. I almost called them trophies. Not quite. Awards. And they're all against Tottenham. He's a big game player for us. He loves a game against Tottenham. And home sweet home, as he said. It's a really important step in the right direction. People forget, it's not just about signing players that come into the club as new faces. It's about retaining your best players as well. And Arsenal, famously, over the last decade or two, have been terrible at this. Losing players for free, losing players for a fraction of their actual value, because we just haven't been able to get contracts done in time. We've left it too late, whatever the case may be. Not with Gabriel. And I'm hoping some other players will follow suit soon. But Gabriel is here until 2029, of course, unless we sell him earlier, but then our asset is protected. That's what people don't think about. This isn't just signing a player and he's going to be here for the next remaining years of those contracts. It's about protecting the asset, because now if anyone wants to come in and sign him, remember, I remember it very recently, it was only a year ago and the year before that I think it was Saudi were trying to sway Gabriel. If that happens again, you're going to have to pay up big time, because he's now locked in a big, long contract. And I hope he's one of the highest paid defenders at the club, because for me, I'd actually say he's had a better season than Saliba. Just saying. So that is a player that has signed a new deal. We will be getting some new contracts signed. I'm pretty sure a few more players are in line. Up next, let's talk about Zubimendi. He was in the news a few weeks ago with apparently deal done to Arsenal. And then just a few days ago, he had some words put out in the media. He did like an interview and said some things that maybe worried a few Arsenal fans, thinking that it wasn't done. Now, what you've got to remember is until a player has physically signed the contract, wore the shirt, lifted the shirt, had his interviews done, they're not going to talk about it. They're just not going to talk about it. Why would Zubimendi do an interview right now and say, yes, I'm going to Arsenal, when nothing has actually happened? So I'm here to relax the Arsenal fans that are worried. Zubimendi is going to be an Arsenal player, and I've done some digging. I've done a little bit of research on this. it seems that it might not be Arsenal in this case. It might be Real Sociedad that are actually asking a favour of Arsenal. They don't want this transfer to go through until the beginning of July. So for those of you who don't know, the current season is still technically going financially. Okay, the financial reasons that I'm talking about here are going until the end of June. So if a player signs now, it's registered in this season. If a player signs in July onwards until next June 31st, they sign in that financial season. So it makes sense for this deal to be a done deal and a gentleman's agreement, so to speak, but not being announced and officially done until July 1st onwards. So Real Sociedad can put that signing through their books in next season's financial year, financial season, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it benefits Arsenal much. We're in the green as it stands. Apparently, we've got, I think it's around 90, 100 million clearance within PSR rules. And if you don't know any of these words that I'm talking about, this isn't the video for you. I don't want to go into everything, but we're in the clear and we could do this deal now. But I think we're doing Real Sociedad a favour. Zubimendi's going to be an Arsenal player. It's just not going to be announced until July. I'm willing to put money on it that the very first business day in July, I don't know what day it lands on, but let's say it's Monday, the 1st of July, he will be announced. If July 1st is a Saturday or a Sunday, he'll be announced on the 3rd. It'll be the first business day of July where Zubimendi will be officially announced. That's my prediction. And don't worry, Arsenal fans, he's not going to Real Madrid. He's going to be an Arsenal player. And I watched him against France playing in that deep number 6 role. My God. Yeah, I think we're signing a very, very good player. He's a line breaker. He's a player that looks for the pass going forwards. He's very Jorginho, but with a bit of athleticism. So I think it's going to be a fantastic signing. And of course, it was a release clause, maybe slightly cheaper than the full release clause. We are yet to find out. But don't worry, it's going to happen. Next player we need to talk about is Sesko. I did a video talking about him a couple of days ago. And apparently, you know, this is the chosen deal out of all of the strikers that are available. There aren't many, but, you know, we're linked with quite a few. But Sesko seems to be the answer. The latest I've heard on this is that is still the case. It's very much the case. But with Berta coming in, and if you don't know who Berta is, just Google him. I don't want to go through that today as well. Berta apparently likes to do things a little bit differently. So what apparently is happening behind the scenes is he's getting a deal agreed with Sesko, Gyökeres, and any other targets we're looking at. He wants to get these deals to a point where they can basically then accept it and go through with it. So what you might think, and for sure this has happened in the past with Arsenal, we will put months of work into a target of ours like Sesko, and then it would fall apart, and then we've got very little time to start again on a new target. So I think we're going in with a new kind of tactic, a new strategy here. We're getting multiple, let's use Gyökeres as an example. Gyökeres and Sesko, we're working on those deals simultaneously. We're going to get fees agreed, personal terms agreed, contract, whatever. And then you just give the green light on the actual player you really want. I think it's a very safe option, but also it can alienate other teams, other players. I get that. Imagine you put all the work into Gyökeres, he's excited to join, and then you say, actually, we're not going with you. But it's business at the end of the day. It's a ruthless sport. And obviously, this is all rumours. We don't actually know if this is the case, but it does kind of make sense. It wouldn't surprise me if we're going to get Sesko and Gyökeres both to a point where we can just say yes to one of them. That player will be Sesko. I'm fairly confident he will be our new striker going into the new season. But what I will say is he will not start. Havertz will start the new season. I've got a feeling that this means Havertz is still high up there for Arteta and the staff, and that Sesko would be... his job would be to displace Havertz. Whereas if you sign a Gyökeres, he would have to start, right? I don't know. It's going to be a really interesting one, but Sesko, I have no doubts this is a real thing. Whether we'll actually get him or not, we will see. Up next, we've got some new developments regarding Rodrygo. This is a really interesting one because, I mean, why would you leave Real Madrid? You're at the pinnacle of your career when you're playing at Real Madrid. And yeah, Arsenal's a step down. It is. I don't care what anyone says. We might have an exciting project and the prospect of playing for Arsenal is quite exciting for a lot of players. I get that, but Real Madrid, Arsenal, okay? It just is what it is. But the thing is, Rodrygo isn't a star player there, and he never will be. And the reports that he was leaving a couple of weeks ago seemed very likely, very true. And then there was a period of time where I think Xabi Alonso would have said something along the lines of, we rely on Rodrygo, we think he's a great player, I don't want him to go. But in the last 24, 48 hours, it's all over the news. Rodrygo is likely to leave Real Madrid. And Arsenal apparently are concrete interest. It's an interesting one because I can't imagine a much better option. A lot of people think that we should be signing someone as backup to Saka as well. And the way I see this, with Rodrygo being so comfortable on the right, because he's played there for Real Madrid, but obviously he wants to play on the left. That's his preferred position. We'd be signing our go-to left winger. We need a left winger, but also it's great cover if we need someone to play on that right side if Saka's out or whatever. You put Rodrygo on the right, and then you've got Martinelli, Trossard, whatever. This just makes so much sense, and I really, really hope we get this done. So that would mean Zubimendi in midfield, Sesko up front, and then Rodrygo on the left. I mean, 3 absolutely incredible signings. I think we should get this done. I really do. The reports are it'll be about 80 million. So when you include Zubimendi, let's say 60, and then Sesko is going to be, 70, 80. That kind of adds up to the reported 300 million-ish that we're going to have, give or take 1 or 2 more squad players. So we'll see what happens, but I think we should start to get a little bit excited about this. These reports could be fake, could be just rumours for him to get a better deal at Real Madrid, whatever. But I'm very excited at the thought of getting Rodrygo. Another one, this is a really, really random one. Kepa has a release clause. Obviously, he was at Bournemouth last season. He's going back to Chelsea, and there's no way he's going to get in. They have a release clause in his contract of 5 million. 5. So we were looking at Joan Garcia. He is going to Barcelona, it would seem. So we're now back to looking at other goalkeepers, and apparently this is a realistic option. It makes a lot of sense. Why not? The only thing I would say is Kepa, I mean, he's good enough to start for a Premier League team. There's no doubt about it. He was great for Bournemouth. And he was, at one point, the most expensive goalkeeper in the world. I mean, I think he still is. I think he might still have the highest transfer fee of any goalkeeper ever. But £5 million. I'm sure his wages will be considerable. But I can't think of a better backup option. Genuinely, imagine having Raya and Kepa. That's not bad, is it? That really isn't bad. So this is definitely one to look out for. 5 million to get Kepa. Who knows? Maybe we could get it done for 3.5, 4 million. Whenever I think of release clause, I just think, why don't you just try a little bit less than the release clause? Maybe clubs will accept it. Now, on to a really exciting one. I'm a big fan of Leroy Sané. I think a lot of people are forgetting just how insanely good he was at Man City when he was in the Premier League. So you've got a Premier League proven player. He's obviously gone on to Bayern, and a bit of a hit and miss at times. Hot and cold, good spells, bad spells. But this is a German international player with Premier League experience. He is very experienced. He's obviously in his late 20s. He's going to be a free agent. I'm fairly certain he's going to have 5, 10, 15 proposals. And it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal would be on that list. The reports are that we're interested, and this, as I mentioned before, with Saka, if he was ever to get injured again or suspended, whatever, we don't really have that right-sided backup. I just mentioned Rodrygo being able to play there, but this just makes so much sense. The downside of signing a player on a free is they always want a big sign-on fee, so it's almost as if you're buying a player with a transfer fee. It's just a sign-on fee instead. And he will be able to ask for very high wages, but it does make a lot of sense. I would be very excited at the prospect of having Sané and a left winger. So, again, another one to watch out for. Imagine, he's also been linked with Tottenham. So, I mean, just signing him to stop that from happening would be hilarious to me. Now, a really interesting duo of Greek players. We've got Konstantinos Karetsas, and then we've got Christos Mouzakitis. I'm probably saying these very badly. 2 young players, 17 and 18. I believe The guy on the left, Koretsas, is actually born in Belgium but has chosen to play for Greece. I'm not sure. And then we've got Mouzakitis, who is 1 year older and plays for Greece as well. 2 young players that are linked with Arsenal. I'm sure they're getting linked with other clubs as well. It's just something that's come up on my radar. Worth watching out if this could be a possibility. The crazy thing is, though, I can't remember which one it was, and I'm so sorry that it's just gone blank in my head. I'm fairly certain it's on the guy on the left. Oh, wait, it might. Oh, my God, I've forgotten. But we're looking at 30 million to sign one of them, and then it would rise to 40. So I don't think this is going to happen. Yeah, I should have made a note. That's my bad. But they're not going to be cheap, put it this way. But they're young players and players to develop, and I'm fairly certain this would mean that we're not just pivoting from our recent strategy in transfer windows of signing young players that we can grow and develop. We're not just signing older players that are 25 onwards, which is still young, to be fair. But you know what I'm saying? We're still looking at bringing in young players that can flourish. Now, we're going off the pitch here. So this is Matteo Tognozzi. He is the head scout or former head scout at Juventus. And as you can see, I've put in the top left corner, he was the man behind Sula, Howson, who of course has gone to Bournemouth and now Real Madrid, and Yildiz. So this guy has a pretty good reputation and a good CV of players that he's brought through to Juventus. And apparently he is on his way to Arsenal to work alongside Berta. Interesting. Not much to say other than good track record, and hopefully he can continue that track record, but with Arsenal. But it does seem like we are adding him to the staff. And then last but not least, it's real, guys. It is, but it's not going to happen. Don't worry. Mars Lewis Skelly has obviously had a breakout season. He attracted interest from many clubs, I'm sure, but one team that made contact, and it has been... it's come out as being true, let's put it that way, as far as we can tell, that Real Madrid inquired, but it was just literally that. Just, what's up with Mars Lewis Skelly? Because he obviously needs a professional long-term deal. He was an academy player that's come through. He's broken through into the first team. And arguably, he's been, I would say, the young player of the season in the Premier League in terms of a true breakout. And obviously, Arsenal have said, no, guys, I'm sure he'll be flattered to hear that Madrid are interested, but he's our long-term project player. And along with Waneri, they're going to get long-term deals and they'll be here. So it was real. It was real. Can confirm, although we're relying on the likes of Fabrizio for that. So who knows? But that, guys, is the roundup. Plenty of stuff going on at the club. But of course, nothing has been done in terms of bringing in new players. I'm sure we're going to see one player before Zubimendi signs. I think we'll get either a left winger or a striker before then. Where are we now? It's the 6th. So, I mean, yeah, we're looking at still another 3 and a bit weeks until Zubimendi will be announced. So, it's really exciting. I'd watch out for Sane as well and the 2 Greek players. Who knows where that's going to go. But for now, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the little roundup video, and I will see you next time.